Hello, everyone. It's your girl Anita flying high. Welcome to Anita's Joint, hashtag extendAJoint. For every day is Payday, baby. And we are reading today, once again, Number Games, a 9/11 to Coronavirus by Zachary K. Hubbard. You can find his channel on Gematria Effect Sports. I'm sorry, Gematria Effect News. 22, my bad, y'all. I just got up again. Gematria Effect News, 22. And Gematria Effect Sports. Yes, your girl is back, and we're gonna read the rest of the half of chapter 16. All right. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to the soul group. Still have feeling the reminiscences of the full moon, but let's get right into it. Let me share my screen. All right, 251. 251. That's where I was at. Okay, and we're on the subject of okay. I feel good. Okay, on the subject of on the subject of secret societies, death. On the subject of secret societies, death, and Kobe Bryant, who died in the 26th, who died on the 26th of January in 2020, 1,038, 383 days after scoring 60 points in his last NBA game on April 13, 2016. The last game came 213 days after the death of Moses Malone at age 60 on September 13, 2015. This was a curious distance and date because Los Angeles, where Kobe played, is the 213 area code, and in satanic gematria that you learned about earlier, that sums to 213. If you're not aware, Moses Malone was a Philadelphia basketball star, the same as Kobe Bryant. What else brought the two men together was the fact they were both drafted into professional basketball from out of high school. And in this case, Moses Malone, he was drafted by Utah Stars, similar to how Kobe Bryant finished his career against the Utah Jazz. And since we brought up the number 213 and the date September 13th, I'd be remiss if I did not tell you that Tupac Shakur subs to 139 with simple English, and he died on 13/9 or September 13th, 1993. I'm sorry, 1996. 213 days after releasing his last album while he was alive, All Eyes on Me. Hey. The last album was released. Well, they say he's not dead too. Tupac. Anyways, the album was released on February 13th, 1996, or 2/13, corresponding with how Black Panther equates to 213, and his mother was a Black Panther who was announced dead in headlines on the real uh, Machiavelli, Machiavelli's birthday, May 3rd, 2016, one day after her passing. A fact that matters because her son Rap's alias was Machiavelli, named after Machiavellian, Machiavellian, a man who faked his death. Furthermore, like Kobe Bryant, Tupac called the 213 area code his home at the time of the. Furthermore, Kobe and Kobe. Furthermore, like Kobe, um, furthermore, like Kobe, Tupac called the 213 area code his home at the time of his demise, even though he was originally from New York. And in one more parallel, Tupac's last album, Machiavelli, 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 equating to 74 with simple English, the same as Jesus Cross, a rapper, had an album depicting had album artwork depict, depicting Tupac nailed to the cross, resentment of the crucifixion of Jesus. Let us not forget, Tupac sums to 74 with reverse simple English, and for the icing on the cake, Machiavelli, an album released on November 5th, 1996, Guy Fawkes Day, a Jesuit day, a remembrance, and the day leaving 56 days left in the year. Taking us taking us back to the Society of Jesus. And for one more 213, the Black Mama equates with Jewish gematria. And for one more 213, the Black Mamba equates with Jewish gematria, the name of the film that foretold Kobe Bryant's fate. Adding to the darker side of the ritual of Kobe Bryant's last game, where where he scored 60 points, was the death of Daryl Dawkins, using summoning to 60 with Pythagorean gematria, another basketball star who just died days before Moses Malone on August 27, 2015, the day leaving 126 days left in the year, not far off from the date Kobe Bryant would eventually die, written 1/26, and also corresponding with the simple English value of Gianna Bryant, summoning to 126, the daughter of Kobe who died with him. Furthermore, Daryl Dawkins died at age 58, connecting to the gematria of Kobe Bryant and Moses Malone, both equating to 58 with reverse Pythagorean gematria, as well as 41 with Pythagorean. As a reminder, Los Angeles Lakers, the team Kobe played for, also sums to 58 with Pythagorean. And notice if you add the ages of death, 60 and 58, they equate to 118, corresponding with the gematria of Los Angeles, California, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as death. Even more, Dawkins died a span of 33 weeks from Kobe's last game, and Kobe sums to 33 with simple English, a man who died during the 74th NBA season. And as you learned about the first chapter, the ritual of 77 and 33 is common. After speaking of 74 for the 74th NBA season, the biggest story outside of Kobe's demise was Zion Williams, equating to 74 with Pythagorean. His NBA story began with the Zion Williams sweepstakes on the 71st birthday of Zionist Israel, May 14, 2019, where Catholic equates to 71 and 145, the latter being like the date of the establishment, 14/5. You should also know that Zion Williams sums to 74 with Pythagorean and has an overlap with Society of Jesus in 3 out of the 4 ciphers, 79, 187, and 191. Where one of those three values corresponds with the fact that his birthday is July 6, 2000, the 187th day of the year in non-leap years. And just so you know, we have not bounced from okay. And just so you know, we have not bounced from Daryl Dawkins' age Daryl Dawkins, dying at age 58 to Zion Williams by accident. That's because on January 26, 2020, after Zion Williams finished his third career NBA game, the day Kobe Bryant reportedly passed, he had a total of 58 points, scoring 22 in his debut on the 22nd of January, a span of 22 days from the death of David Stern, then 15 on the 24th, and then 21 on the 26th. Keep in mind, Pelicans and New Orleans Pelicans equate to 79, like Zion Williams, and 29 is the 22nd prime, corresponding with the 22 points. NBA basketball debuted on the 22nd day of the year. And with regards to the 21 he scored on the day Bryant died, Lakers as well as Jesuits sums 21 in Pythagorean. And from the day Daryl Dawkins died to Kobe's last game was a span of 231 days, the 21st triangular number. As we know, the number 21 also connects to Bible, and in that breath, I will remind you that Kobe Bryant's death was foreshadowed by November 16th or 16/11 on Comedy Central in a King James tribute who has a Bible named after him that was established in 1611. Right after English was standardized with a 26-letter alphabet, and the Gregorian calendar had been introduced. And with King James in mind, let us not forget that biblical equates to 58. At the same time, King James Version equates to 74 with Pythagorean. And Kobe's very King James related death ritual came in what season? 74th NBA season. Of course, when the Lakers returned from the coronavirus break on July 30th, 2020, and played the Clippers. It played the Clippers in the Battle of Los Angeles. They gave the Clippers their 21st loss of the season, while improving to 24-8 at home, corresponding with the jersey Kobe Bryant wore, 24-8. In that same game, the score was tied 74-74 late, and then 101-101. Before LeBron scored the winning 103 points, reminding us of the ritual of the Cavs winning with LeBron on the real King James' birthday, June 19, 2016, in their 103rd game of the season. And never mind, July 30th was the day leaving 154 days left in a year. And King James sums to 154 with reverse simple English. To transition to what Kobe Bryant's death had to do with the league being suspended on March 11th, 2020, or 11/3, after the member of Utah Jazz tested positive for coronavirus, the team Kobe Bryant finished his career against. We'll begin with the number 113 and how it relates to Kobe Bryant using simple English. Kobe Bryant equates to 113, the same as Michael Jordan, a man whose career he emulated, and who he passed in points scored on December 14, 2014, 113 days after his August 23rd birthday. And keep in mind, Kobe did that. And keep in mind, Kobe did that in a win against the team from Minneapolis, the original home of the Lakers. And he helped his team bounce. And he helped his team become 8-16 for the season, meaning it was their 24th game, like how Kobe were 8-24. At the same time, only the other team in the league equates to 113 using their full name, and that is the Utah Jazz, who Kobe finished his career against, and who Jordan once beat in the NBA Finals. For the record, their only other team with a connection to 113 is Dallas. The city name equated to 113 with reverse simple. And sure enough, they beat the Denver Nuggets 113-97 on March 11, 2020, the day the league was suspended. And speaking of Colorado, Colorado sums to 113 with simple English, where Kobe Bryant was accused of rape, and a town reminding us of Kobe's hometown football team. And Kobe's hometown football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, where the nickname subs to 113 with reverse simple English. Keep in mind, Eagle and Colorado also sums to 59-67, the same as Black Mamba. As for 113, it matters to the NBA because the National Basketball Association sums to 113 with Pythagorean gematria, the 30th prime number, explaining why the NBA has been capped to 30 teams since 2004. Furthermore, when Kobe Bryant retired, he wrote a basketball poem titled Dear Basketball, equating to 113 with simple English and 41 with Pythagorean, identical to Kobe Bryant. He was even nominated for the Oscar Award for Dear Basketball on January 23, 2018, Georgetown's anniversary. 41 days prior to the ceremony, March 4, 2018. If you have not seen the Dear Basketball short film, it begins with 13 seconds on the clock, of course. 41 is the 13th prime number. Building on the 13 connection, from the day Kobe Bryant received the Oscar to his death was 99 weeks later, and as you have learned, when you write out 13, it equals to 99. And keep in mind, LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant in points scored on his 99th game with LA. The date of the nomination was also 153 days after Kobe's birthday, connecting to Jesuit order. Furthermore, 153 is the 13th triangular number, and NBA sums to 7. Furthermore, 153 is the triangular. 153 is the 17th triangular number, and NBA sums to 17 with simple English. It should also be noted that Dear Basketball, Kobe talks about giving his soul for basketball, and the word soul has gematria of 67, matching Calabasas, Black Mamba, Fresh Prince, and the numerology of the date of his demise, January 26, 2020. Back on the subject of 113 and Kobe Bryant in relation to the league being suspended on March 11th, or 11/3, Kobe Bryant was drafted in the first round with the 13th pick by the North Carolina team in tribute to Michael Jordan in 1996. Thus, on the draft sheet, he was taken 113. Furthermore, after being traded from Charlotte, he made his debut for the Lakers on November 3rd, 1996, a date that can be written 11/3. Keep in mind the Lakers. Keep in mind the game was against Minneapolis, the original home of the Lakers, and the Lakers won with 91 points, the 13th triangular number, scoring 26 points in the fourth quarter. More recently, on December 13, 2019, Kobe Bryant had mainstream headlines written about him for being a good Samaritan for assisting with a car accident in LA that he supposedly witnessed. Not by chance, that was his 113th day of his age, and mainstream equates to 157, 113, and 41, with the same ciphers as Kobe Bryant. As we learned earlier, accident sums to 157, it also sums to 59, the latter like Calabasas and Black Mamba. And you can verify the date of the car accident, December 13, 2019, was a date with 44 and 64 numerology, corresponding with gematria of kill. Adding to the riddle with his own fatal accident after helping with the car accident, Kobe Bryant would die 44 days later, at least reported in the mainstream. Thus, in light of how well planned and coordinated it all was, it was no accident that the league was suspended on March 11th, 45 days from the death of Mr. 113, Kobe Bryant. When jazz equates to 45, and so does ritual, it was also a span of 46 days, and as you know, virus sums to 46, corresponding with how coronavirus equates to 113, along with the National Basketball Association and Utah Jazz, the latter tying in perfectly with the date, March 11th, or 11/3. And in light of Kobe Bryant traveling from Catholic Mass at the time of his accident, let us not forget that Catholic equates to 46 as well as 71. Because the league was suspended on the 71st day of 2020 after supposedly 7'1" Ruby Gobert of the Utah Jazz tested positive for the virus. That was also the day March Madness, equating to 71, was put on hold before being canceled the next day, March 12th to March 12th, the 72nd day of the year, corresponding with Jesuit order. Keep in mind, Rudy is from France, just uh, like the Jesuits, and he was born June 26, or 26/6, the same day of the year that Kobe Bryant was drafted into the NBA. And after his wife's birthday, something that can't be repeated enough in light of who is truly responsible for these evil acts. Oh, excuse me. Let me say that again. Rudy Gobert is from France, like the Jesuits, and he was born on June 26, or 26/6, the same day of the year that Kobe Bryant was drafted into the NBA. And of course, reminding us that Kobe Bryant's death came 266 days after his wife's birthday, something that cannot be repeated enough in light of who is truly responsible for these evil acts. Case in point, the name Rudy Gobert sums to 135 and 54 in the same ciphers as Kobe Bean Bryant, meaning 54 in the same cipher as Jesuit order. And I should point out, March 11th was 37 weeks after Gobert's birthday, corresponding with virus as well as Bryant, two words that have gematria of 26 and 37 in identical ciphers, similar to COVID, equating to 26 with Pythagorean. Okay. For another important point about Rudy Gobert, he had been criticized on March 9th, 2020 for making fun of coronavirus after purposely over dragging his hand over every microphone on the podium in a way of showing he is not scared of the virus, a virus that was just beginning to take hold in the media. The date of his stunt, 2 days before the pandemic was declared, part of the ongoing and well-planned storyline and agenda we're now living out, could be written. Oh yeah, could be written 9/3, much like 93, corresponding with Wuhan coronavirus. For another familiar number, the March 9th incident took place 257 days after his 27th birthday, the 55 crime. On the subject of 93 and 55, these are numbers that bring together the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis, the original home of the Lakers, and the death of Kobe Bryant. The two men who were reported to have daughters named Gianna, as odd as that is, especially since the All-Star game paid tribute to Kobe, and it was between Team LeBron and Team Giannis. Team Giannis, Gianna. Before we get to the 99 and 55 part, I must point out Kobe and George Floyd died in a span of 121 days apart, and LA is 120. LA is 12.1, the initials. At the same time, the phrase blood sacrifice equates to 121, and where Kobe Bryant and Gianna were reportedly buried, is Pacific View Memorial Park, equating to 121 with the diagram. Keep in mind the number 121 relates to the gematria of Revelation, and the alternative word for Revelation is apocalypse, equating to 113 with simple English, the same as Kobe Bryant. In light of the End Days cartoon being released by Comedy Central on 16/11, foretelling the death of Kobe Bryant, you cannot deny the biblical riddles. And to build on your gematria learning, Kobe's hometown, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, equates to 1611 with Jewish gematria, a fitting sum for being biblically named in the 16th century world and post-King James Version world. Man, oh man. Because remember, as Zach has said, all these rituals are time-based that they perform. Time-based. They're all time-based. That's why they always got us stuck into time, even though time is an illusion. But most people live on that 9-to-5 schedule, the 24-hour schedule. And that's why they say time is precious. So you got to make sure you use your time wisely. But they always want to take our time from us. Coronavirus took so much time from us. Fuckers. All this extra shit. They're just trying to buy time. They're trying to buy time to put out the 5G. They're trying to buy time to build their infrastructure. So like I said, it's a power grab, right? They got majority of the resources based upon them having the mainstream media and based upon all the shit that they've done, as we can see if we've been breaking down. They have all this time to plan out these rituals ritualistically, and this is just Kobe Bryant's death. And we're talking about other people's death intertwined with the coronavirus. And this is what? Event 201. This is their time-based pandemic of them trying to kill us with the virus. It's all time-based because Saturn rules time, right? But yes, but we're immortal, so We're gonna keep on keeping on. As for numbers 93 and 55, they relate to Minneapolis in several ways. Starting with 93, the city is located on the 93rd meridian west, and better yet, Minneapolis, Minnesota sums to 93 with Pythagorean. It reminds us how Tom Brady ran 93 offensive plays in Super Bowl 51, a record including 62 passes. And as I pointed out, he was definitely going to be back in Super Bowl 52 in Minneapolis because of the gematria connections, including the fact that Minneapolis sums to 62 with the reverse Pythagorean, similar to how Floyd and Bryant equate to 62 on the subject of 55. Minneapolis sums to 55. On the subject of 55, Minneapolis sums to 55 with Pythagorean, reminding us it is where the Patriots fell to 5-5 in Super Bowls after losing to Eagles in Super Bowl 52 after a sack fumble caused by number 55 of the Eagles to put the game away in their favor. Beyond the numbers, the connection with Kobe Bryant and George Floyd is Beyond the numbers, the connection with Kobe Bryant and George Floyd is that in the wake of their deaths of the deaths of both men in 2020, "I can't breathe" became a popular motto, just as it had been in 2014 in the wake of killing Eric Gardner. And in 2014, Kobe Bryant led the charge in the NBA with his "I Can't Breathe" protest t-shirt after death of Eric, a slogan equating to 74, reminding us that Kobe Bryant would die during the 74th NBA season. For the record, protest sums to 113 with simple English, making Kobe a fitting leader, and also for the record, Eric Gardner's killing was on July 17, 2014, a date that can be written 17/7, and with 58 numerology as well as 38, reminding us that George Floyd was killed in Minnesota, equating to 38 with Pythagorean on the 38th Street before the murder trial date was set to begin on March 8, 2020, emphasis on 3/8. And his killing officer's name, Derek Chauvin, equates to 58, the same as Benjamin Crump, the latter being the attorney for the family of George Floyd, who was a member of the Boyle, as well as Prince Hall, both equating to 55 and being fraternal organizations that, in case of Kobe Bryant, equating to 58, and his father were and are members of, as well as Martin Luther King Jr. I must speak on briefly in relation to the deaths in his family and the repetition of the number 38, so as the repetition of the evil is being taken place and who is responsible. Oh shit. Excuse me. A man, Kobe. Yeah. Oh yeah. So when you think about it, all these deaths in the Black community, time-based rituals, time-based deaths, right? And it's like to get the reaction out of the people, like, oh, they're always killing Black people. And they are, of course, but ritualistically, and that's only who they present to us as they're killing so much. They only present to us that they're killing Black people on the mainstream media. Majority of the time, it's always the killing of Black men or women. That's all they ever continue to promote to us. based upon the history that they have been taught us, Black people have always been being killed in history, right? Everything they've been killing Black people ever since for 25 years of my whole life. All we've been taught is about them killing Black people, right? That's all we've been taught. All we've been taught. All we've been taught as Black people here in America. And I'm not Black, but that's all we've been taught. That's all we've been programmed with. And now, if you're not quote unquote Black, you know what I'm saying? If you identify as a race, if you identify with this, if you identify with anything in this world, even though you're a spirit and a body first, if you identify with these things because this is what you've been taught, right? This is you would get upset because this is all they would present. It's like if you're white, they don't present so many white deaths. They don't present that. They present white killers. They present the killers talking about the church. They present white people as the ones that shoot up churches, white people that shoot up the malls, white people that shoot up the schools. That's how they present white people to the masses as the killers, and the Black people as the ones getting killed. And so this is all we've been programmed with. And all these things are ritualistically planned out to continue to have the race bait, to continue to have us divided. And we're like, first of all, okay, so this is all ritualistically planned out. So actually, it's not actual white people killing this. This is dumb niggas ritualistically planning this shit out. It's not all Black people getting killed. It's certain Black people that they're ritualistically killing, right? So on both ends, everyone's suffering based upon this ritualistic killing of both black and white, all races. Everybody's getting killed. We're all getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, mentally, physically, and they ritualistically plan this out, right? And when you know that, you're like, all right, well then, look, this is what they do. And if you know that, you have to know that most of the masses do not know this. I was on Zach's live today, and he was telling me that he only had 6,000 people buy his book, right? But he made it free on his Patreon, on his website. You don't have to sign up for Patreon, but he made it free for everyone, and even his first book. So I'm gonna have to see how I can get that too as well. So you just have to know, like, damn, like, okay, so this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to incite race break. They're trying to divide us. So when you see that, you can be like, yo, look. They're just trying to make us hate each other. They're trying to make us hate our neighbor because they present a white man killing Black men, and they want us to hate us. Like, and then because they got that the white man stigma. No, they fuck that. Look at, no, I don't give a fuck all that. But this is what we've been programmed. This is what we've been taught. This is what I've only seen. This is what I've only seen in my entire life, as them continuing to promote Black people dying and white people killing. That's the only thing we've been presented especially in America. You know what I'm saying? Especially in America. Okay. And you do get mad with it. You're like, but damn, is that another ritual sacrifice? Damn, lost another one. And you think about it, when I think about the white men that go and shoot up the schools, I'm like, damn, is that another ritual sacrifice? Damn, I feel bad for them too. I feel bad for them because they're being used. They're being used. We're all being used against each other, right? But if you don't know, now you know. You know what I'm saying? So next time we see another Black man get shot and another white man kill him, we need to remember, okay, this is another ritual and spell that they're putting out here for us to react and get all emotional in our feelings. The one where they literally recorded us. They literally showed us the recording of George Floyd getting kneeled on. The whole universe saw that shit. What the fuck? What kind of fucked up fuckery is that? It wasn't on TV. This shit was on real life. This happened like real life, and we were like, what the fuck? This nigga, is this happening? So I don't know what type of world we like. You think about it. We're in a they say the world's a stage, and on their stage they like to present, killing, death, sacrifice, rituals. This is what they like to present to us, to get us all in our feelings, to get us evoked, to like, oh yeah, we got them, and to get them out there. Black Lives Matter, fucking to get white people to say White Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter to get us. Oh, we got them. They out there marching. Look at them. Look at them all. Look at them all marching. Look at them all. And then we got all our babies are being kidnapped based upon these pedophile rings, and we ain't marching to that, or we ain't hooting and hollering. What about the babies? And I don't give a fuck what color your baby is, because the babies are the future. Period. Point blank. All right. For starters, the world equates to 38 with reverse Pythagorean. Now, to build Martin Luther King Jr. was killed in Memphis, equating to 38 in Pythagorean, the same as killing, and gematria. Let us not forget the song Gematria. Let us not forget about the song Gematria, the Killing Game, by the band Slipknot, where the first member of the band died. Paul Gray passed at age 38 on May 24th, 2020. May 24th, 2010, the 145th day of the year. The number corresponding with Jesuit order, reminding us that the boil was against all the rest of the world of modern Freemasonry. Fall under the umbrella of the Jesuits. And remember, the Jesuits, the older Illuminati, the Gregorian Lord, the Scottish Rite, all them niggas, we just call them one thing, the shadow government. Okay? Just all them niggas, Zach be naming for us, the shadow government. Okay? That's all they are, the shadow government. That's what we say, because we ain't got time to be looking. Look, Zach did all the research when it came to the history of the Jesuits when they were born, based upon the gematria. For us, for those that still question, there is physical evidence here, the gematria. He took the time to get all the dates and times that they presented to us, because it's ritualistic coding, these time numbers, these dates that they do their rituals by. But altogether, we just call them shadow government because, they're in the shadows and they're doing all their shadow shit with their global magic wands, mind fucking the people, right? And so just remember that all these niggas all together, the shadow government. It don't matter. It don't matter what they're called. They're all the shadow government. Okay, all shadow government. And these niggas be talking to the aliens, the aliens that be coming, because of course there's other entities that come and talk to these shadow government people to be able to implement their evil acts with that's why you have to know that we're not the only type of species here on the planet. People be acting like we're the only ones here. Nigga, you got us fucked up. The Gallo universe is big. Niggas be acting like it's just us humans. What? E.T. gone home? Nigga, if they made a movie about E.T., nigga, what you think out here in the universe? Niggas don't even acknowledge the fact that there's more beings that exist in this realm. That's where they got people mind fucked, thinking they're the only ones here. Like, bitch, if you should know, if we have animals, you should know there's some more species, right? You should know that. If there's animals out here, then you should know, okay, well, if there's animals, there must be something else. There must be some different type of animals in different planes. There must be different type of quote-unquote humans in different, you know what I'm saying? Like, if people can grasp that, we're on our way with something. Oh, shit. But, yeah. Niggas just, they'll wake up to it eventually, right? I mean, all the TV shows that we have with these extra creatures. What the fuck is that? All right. So back on the killing name, back on the song. Let us not forget the song about. Let us not forget the song about. Let us not forget about the song Gematria, the Killing Name, by the band Slipknot, where the first member of the band to die, Paul Gray, passed at age 38 on May 24, 2010, and May 24th, 2010, the 144th day of the year. the number corresponding with Jesuit order, reminding us that the Royal, as well as the rest of the world of modern Freemasonry, fall under the umbrella of the Jesuits. One of one of my many examples making it clear in this case, Martin Luther King Jr.'s brother, Alfred A.D. King, was found drowned in the pool on July 21st, 1969, at the age of 38, a date in history the Jesuit order was banned by the Pope. And on the subject of 38, 163 is the 38th prime number, and July 1st leaves 163 days, and July 21st leaves 163 days in the year. Plus, drowned has a Pythagorean value of 38. Also noteworthy, the date he died had numerology of 116, and he was most commonly called A.D. King, equating to 116 with reverse simple, and how Ada Moran de la Gora, the Jesuit motto, sums to 116 with reverse Pythagorean. In other words, his number was up. And as we know, who was counting? For another 38, MLK's father died March 11, 1984, a standout year and date, 38 days before his 85th birthday, meaning he died at age 84 in 84. As you know, the number 84 connects to Jesuit, Savior, and the Catholic Church. And their son, Martin Luther King Jr., was killed on the 95th day of 1968, on a date with 95 numerology as well, a number reminding us that Martin Luther, who died in February of 1546, 6 years after the Jesuits were formed, led the Protestant reform against the Catholic Church with the 95 Theses. I should also note MLK's father was killed on the 316th day of the year, corresponding with the Hebrew gematria of Jesus Christ, a number reminding us of John 3:16 about God sacrificing his son, similar to how MLK Jr., son of Senior, had been sacrificed in 68, corresponding with the gematria of crucifixion, equating to 68. Out of all the deaths in MLK's family, however, the one that screams boils the most is the death of Yolanda King, who died on the 103rd anniversary of the Boyles' establishment, May 15, 2007. Recall in 2020, they released Kobe's Autopsy on May 15th, and I should note a film that predicted his helicopter-related demise, The Black Mamba. The gematria equates to 38 with the Pythagorean. As for Yolanda King, she was fitting for the ritual because 103 is the 27th prime, and like ritual, the name Yolanda sums to 27 with Pythagorean. And like ritual, the Yolanda sums to 27 with Pythagorean, thus explaining the reasoning behind the infamous 27 Club, adding to the list of 38. She died in Santa Monica, equating to 38 with Pythagorean, and being located on the 34th parallel north, similar to how murder equates to 34 and 38, and reminding us that the boil equates to 34 and 38 as well. On the subject of 34 A.D. King's son, who would be killed at age 34 after he died at 38, and where MLK died, Memphis equates to 34 and 38 as well. Keep in mind, Santa Monica also sums to 187 in the same ciphers as Society of Jesus, and Yolanda King equates to 58 like Secret Society. For one more, Yolanda, she died 179 days after her November 17, 2006 birthday, and 179 is the 41st prime number. And that matters because the name king sums to 41 with simple English. It's similar to how Nick Cordeau was reportedly dead at age 41 on July 5th, the 187th day of 2020, and on the day leaving 179 days left in the year, and also being a man having a September 17th birthday, emphasized on 17/9, similar to 179. You'll recall we have covered his death earlier, having happened 201 days after Pope Francis' birthday, the first Jesuit pope who lives in Suite 201, where no other Catholic pope has lived. Has lived before. Excuse me. Going on right here. Okay. All right. For more familiar numbers, MLK Jr.'s mother was assassinated in church June 30th, 1974, emphasized on the year 74, and reminding us of the gematria value of 74 for Jesus killing in gematria. Even more, the assassin was said to be Marcus Wayne Chenault, equating to 74 with Pythagoras, and once again putting the Jesus stamp on the matter, something only the Society of Jesus would do. The date she was killed had 1110 numerology as well, and I bring this up because Santa Monica also equates to 1110 or 110, a number connected to prophecy, and is something that is being fulfilled by a code. In the 18th chapter, we'll discuss how the factors against. In the 18th chapter, we'll discuss how this factors into George Floyd being killed in Minnesota, equating to 1110, and Ahmaud Arbery and Rashad Brooks being killed 110 days apart, with the second killing being in Atlanta, Georgia, the home of the Kings family, and also the current headquarters of the Boyle. Adding to the riddle of the assassination of MLK's mother is the fact that she was killed on the 181st day of the year, the 42nd prime number, and Martin equates to 42, same as February. The same as Jesuits were Black History Month, or Black History equates to 18. Oh, let me say it. Adding to the riddle of the assassination of MLK's mother is the fact that she was killed on the 181st day of the year, the 42nd prime number, and Martin equates to 42, same as February, the same as Jesuit, whereas Black History equates to 181, reminding us that from Barack Obama's August 4th birthday to the start of the Black History Month is 181 days each year and that Barack Obama sums to 181 with Jewish gematria. And also that George Floyd was killed on Memorial Day, equating to 181. Not to mention the media's detail on how Amy Klobuchar could have put away Derek Chauvin in a 2006 for wrongfully killing a 42-year-old person, but she didn't. And also not to mention the detail that George Floyd died on her birthday. The same day, it was reported a white woman, Amy Cooper, a similar name to Amy Klobuchar, in Central Park in New York, choked her dog while calling the police on a black man who was bird watching, only for it to be reported 42 days later by the New York District Attorney. July 6, 2020, where there would be charges against Amy Cooper, a name equating to 42, and the name Amy alone, the same as Amy alone. And never mind that in February of 2020, while Trump was campaigning for re-election, he said Amy Klobuchar was a choker while putting his hands around his neck and mimicking being strangled and playing it up with his own improvising choking sound effects. It should serve as a reminder it is called political theater for a reason. Damn. Political theater. Man. That's why you gotta be director of your own movie. You gotta be directing your own movie. Because if not, these niggas have you directed some fuckery. Right. Back on the subject of MLK's mother's assassination, she was killed in the Indeciser Baptist Church, equating to 228 with simple English, the same as Martin Luther King Jr. and United States of America. At the same time, St. Joseph Hospital equates to 228 and 93, the same as Martin Luther King Jr., the location where MLK was pronounced dead. Keep in mind, death equates to 228 with Sumerian gematria, and with that thought in mind, please realize that Martin Luther King is the only person born in history of the United States who has a holiday named after him, to date, and his assassination is largely the reason for this. On the matter, the last state to recognize the MLK holiday because of political opposition was Arizona, equating to 42 and 84, the same as Jesuit, reminding us of the divide and conquer tactics that are utilized in government and media with every major event that happens in history of this great nation. A nation having a name equating to 84, and in light of death being encoded in the country's name, let us not forget the U.S. is a nation that was founded on genocide, war, and slavery. Despite the rosy pictures so often painted in our government-controlled schools, where topics such as genocide are justified of manifest destiny, where the topics such as genocide are justified because of manifested destiny, a term I could write a book around. I'll let you know that in Jewish gematria, it sums to 929, the same as United States of America, and reminding us that the Old Testament has 929 chapters in it. For the greater glory of God, right? That's what they say. Jesus. For their God, not our God, for their God. And for one last point on MLK's mother's death, she died 193 days after her husband's birthday, reminding us of how Bill Gates' mother died on the 193rd day of her father's age, a number that has the number that is the 44th prime, connecting to kill and execution. And reminding us the day MLK was assassinated, 4/4, or that Seattle, where the Gates family is from, equates to 44. In the case of 193, also corresponds with the Roman Catholic Church, equating to 193 and 94 as well, and reminding us that MLK's death is remembered each year on April 4th, the 94th day of the year, except in leap years, where it's the 95th. And also corresponding to how Bill Gates' mother died in 1994, the year Bill was married and before he announced his decade of vaccines, on the 94th day of his age. Again, the parallels are no accident. It is because they are parts of scripts from the same Jesuit order working on behalf of the Roman Catholic Church, working by the same repetitive code year after year cycle after. And on that topic, Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday is January 15th, a date that can be written 1/5. Oh shit, my bad. A date that can be written 1/5. The same day coronavirus supposedly showed up in the United States. You recall from our learning earlier the significance of 115 to the Jesuits and the nation of France, equating to 115, where they were formed. The same nation the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry came to power in, the secret society that the Jesuits share a motto with, these same two entities that have headquarters in Washington, D.C., the Masonic city, where Masonic equates to 115 as well. On the subject of Scottish, let us not forget that it equates to 113 with simple English, the same as Kobe Bryant, bringing us back to the day of March 11th, the day the NBA was suspended due to coronavirus. For the record, that was the 142nd day of the 74th NBA season, a season that began on October 22nd, 2019, the day leaving 70 days left in the year. As we know, coronavirus equates to 142 and 70 with the base ciphers, and proving it was no accident, the NBA would announce that the season was set to return on July 31st, 2020, 142 days after it was suspended, despite later adding a doubleheader for no day earlier, July 30th, where LeBron won on King James Day. Better yet, July 31st is the day Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, died in the year 1556, emphasized on 56. It was a fitting date because July 31st the July 31st leaves 153 days in the year, and Jesuit order equates to 153. It was also the reason the Rockets played the last game of the day on July 31st. Return, scoring 153 points, and giving the Mavericks their 28th loss of the season, where Rockets equals 28 in Pythagorean. Furthermore, ESPN equating to 54 had a doubleheader for the return, and the Bucks picked up their 54th win of the season in the Jesuit order salute, both of which were easy games to call in advance, knowing the code. And in that same Bucks game, you have to laugh when Giannis gave his team a early 17-2 lead, much like 172, the Jesuit tribute number. As for the year 2020, July 31st was a date with 78 numerology, corresponding with both Jesuit and Scottish Rite, as well as Wuhan coronavirus, and the year Kobe Bryant was born, 1978. Adding to the riddle of the NBA's planned date return. Adding to the riddle of the NBA's planned return date, July 31st, was the 213th day of the leap year, similar to how LA's area code 213, and similar to how LeBron ended up playing July 30th, 213 days after his 35th birthday. In the case of the 74th NBA season, the NBA's advertisement campaign was "The Codes We Live By," equating to 74, and about how the area codes NBA teams call home. Furthermore, that same phrase equates to 79, the same as Society of Jesus and Helicopter Crash and Black Mamba, the latter being the film that foreshadowed Kobe Bryant's death in Los Angeles, a title that also sums to 213 with Jewish gematria, adding to the area code riddle that the NBA's July 31st planned return date was on LeBron's 215th day of his age, and that is the Philadelphia area code 215, where he passed Kobe Bryant in Kobe's hometown the day before Kobe died, and shortly before the season was put on pause. Also, not by chance, the NBA announced its July 31st return date on May 29, 2020, 79 days after the league was suspended, on the date with 54 and 74 numerology. In that moment, it was stated all remaining games would be played in the brand new ESPN Worldwide of Sports complex, equating to 373 with reverse simple, the 74th prime number, a perfect concluding spot for the 74th NBA season. Plus, the complex is in Orlando, equating to 79, or otherwise said Orlando, Florida, equating to 72 and 144, the same as Jesuit order. If you need one more proof of who was behind the rituals, hopefully you don't. If you need one more proof of who was behind the rituals, July 31st will be 187 days after Kobe Bryant's reported death, reminding us that California homicide code, as well as the fact that Society of Jesus sums to 187, and if you still need another, July 31st, 2020 will have 42 and 78 numerology, equating with the gematria of Jesuit. All right. Okay. On the subject of the NBA returning on July 31st, a date that can be written 31/7, something like 317, I must bring up another important point that connects back to the memorial for Kobe Bryant on February 24th, 2020, the 55th day of the year, as well as the ceremony where he won his Oscar for Dare Basketball. It is that Jimmy Kimmel, who broadcasts his late night show out of the Masonic Temple of Hollywood, who has a November 13th birthday, the 317th day of the year, was the host for both. And in the case of February 24th Memorial, it was titled A Celebration of Life, Kobe and Gianna Bryant, equating to 317 with simple English gematria. The greater significance of the number 317 is that it is the 66th prime number, and fittingly, February 24, 2020 has 66 date numerology. In addition to the number of the beast equating to 66, a phrase that has much to do with Kobe Bryant's 666 ending in the helicopter, the number 66 connects to the gematria of Lakers, LeBron, and LeBron James, the latter being the man who, the latter being the man who, in recent history, was reported to have gone to 6 straight finals for the first time since Bill Russell did it in 1966, and who also tattooed Mamba for life on his body, equating to 66. And never mind that both Bill Russell and LeBron James both equate to 42 with Pythagorean, reminding us that the beast rules for 42 months in Revelations, and the basketball game has Sumerian gematria of 666, the number of the beast. It was also for this reason that the same ceremony it was discussed how Kobe Bryant learned to play Moonlight Sonata on the piano, equating to 66 with Pythagorean gematria in a record time, as a way to show how talented and determined he was. And with regards to piano, it equates to 26 and 80, the same as Bryant and these niggas. These niggas. All right. And with regards to piano, it equates to 26 and 80, the same as Bryant and 26, 55, and 80 in the same way as Bro Satan equals 55/8 and 80 as well. In light of the significance of the 317 in the ritual, and Beyonce's parallel to Kobe through Bugaboo and winning her 24th Grammy the same day Kobe, number 24, died, as well as opening his ceremony, and opening his ceremony and on February 24th with singing. I should bring up the release of her Black is King musical on Disney Plus, July 31st, 2020, a date that can be written 31/7, much like 317, the 66 prime, corresponding with the fact that King equates to 66 in Jewish gematria. And Kobe Bryant of the Lakers had a tattoo on his arm of a crown. And let us not forget, 66 is the 11th triangular number, and black equates to 11 with Pythagorean gematria, corresponding with the title, Black is King. Speaking of which, the title sums to 201 in the Jewish cipher, the number of the Jesuit order. And for one more connection to 1131 is the 11th prime, and it was released on the 31st of July, corresponding with the NBA's planned return date for the NBA, the day leaving 153 days left in the year. A reminder, Jesuit order equates to 153 as well as 144 and 54. And Kobe died 144 days after Beyonce's 38th birthday, and on the 54th day of JC's age, 50. Who also stars with his wife in the musical, along with Jessie Reyes, who we'll learn about later in the death of Naya Rivera, in the light of her name sounding like Nile River, and the Nile River being shown in Beyonce's film. To take it a step further, Beyonce's film is 85 minutes in length, corresponding with gematria of basketball, equating to 85 with simple English, and the year of the first March Madness tournament, 85, the one where Catholic Church Villanova, outside of Philadelphia, beat a Jesuit school, Georgetown, to win the first championship. to win the first tournament championship. In this case, May 8th or 8/5 or 5/8 was also the date NBA teams were allowed to resume practicing after the coronavirus quarantine. And let us not forget that it was Utah who was to blame because, like Kobe Bryant, Utah equates to 58 sinking with the May 8th return. And keep in mind, the rumor was recently circulated that Beyonce is from Italy, and wouldn't it make too much sense that Kobe grew up in Italy as well? And the concept of the church picking their pawns to do their bidding in terms of people like Beyonce and Kobe Bryant. If you take the time to watch the film, you understand the biblical and occult symbolism within have reading this book, especially when they get to the part about knowing good and evil. It is shown with imagery of a chessboard and having white and black focus. If you watch, you also notice it is full of card symbolism, something that should remind you of tarot. And let us not forget, the oldest tarot decks trace back to Italy, the nation that is hit the hardest by the virus. Oh, the nation that was hit the hardest by the virus outbreak. After the outbreak, Italy, Eagle, Wuhan, in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers. For the satanic numbers being arranged in the ritual, there is a reason, and it begins with the fact that Italy is the home of the Catholic Church and satanic equity. Beyond that, gospel is a game of 5 versus 5, and as we know, Satan sums to 55 with simple English. Regarding the number 55, it is one we have covered in great detail regarding Kobe Bryant's death, as well as the boil, and how the number 55 factors into rituals of the deaths of George Floyd in Minneapolis, the original home of the Lakers. And please know that these numbers don't mean it's evil to play basketball. What they mean are that the insane psychopaths who are effectively running the world, as well as NBA, who enjoy number games and riddles and are using the things they control that have the right number relationships to lay down the tracks of their contrived prophecy. A word again equated to 666 with Jewish gematria. And the evidence of this the evidence of this is in things such as Comedy Central's cartoon about Kobe Bryant's dying in the helicopter that released on November 16, 2016, the 16/11 date in relation to the King James Version Bible. Not too many years before Kobe's planned demise, and how it was titled End of Days, a biblical concept, and it became part of a story that involved LeBron, King James passing Kobe in points scored in Kobe's biblical hometown the day before Kobe's death in the 666 chapter. Then consider how at the same time, in the same time shortly after, there were countless headlines written comparing the coronavirus outbreak to the end times and the world apocalypse scattered here and there. Then consider further at the same time this was going on, the U.S. government was busy working on H.R. 6666. And a pandemic was landing exactly 666 days after the Clyde X immunization, and that laid out something very similar to what we're currently living out, just not as drastic, at least not yet, as of July 20th, when I am putting the final ink on these thoughtful written pages. Shout out to that. All right. Almost done. All right. What we got? We got a bit. Hours. All right. And speaking of LeBron James and 6'6", the man with the biblical nickname is in connection to the text that is 66 books in length, the Holy Bible. Let us build on prophecy. Let us build on the prophecy riddle by revisiting his last game as a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers while playing against the Los Angeles Lakers. If you search for it, you'll find the game was played March 11th, 2018, a span of 113 days from LeBron James signing with the Lakers on July 1st, 2018. And the March 11th game between the two teams was the 66 for both. The Cavaliers was the 66 for both. And the Cavaliers lost 113 to 127. Regarding that score, as you learned earlier, Scottish sums to 113 and Scottish Rite of Freemasonry equates to 127 as well. And for the record, that July 1st deal was reported to be worth $154 million. A funny payout when you recognize King James equates to 154 with reverse simple English. And please do not overlook July 1st can be written out 7/1 like 71 as Catholic and similar to 71, the 20th prime, reminding us of 2020, the year all these riddles are aligning for something that is horrific as it is fascinating. Of course, July 1st can be written 1/7, and the NBA equates to 17 with simple English, reminding us of the Celtics who leads the NBA with 17 titles, and who are trailed by the Lakers with 16. Let us not forget Los Angeles sums to 53 and 16. Let us not forget Los Angeles sums to 53, the 16 prime, or that Black Mamba sums to 59, the 17 prime, or how Boston and Los Angeles come together in Super Bowl 53, where the spoils went to the New England Patriots, 13-3, and that is considered to be a dud of the game, contrived for the GOAT. As for why Boston is the leader of the NBA, Gematria tells the tale. As for why Boston is the leader of the NBA, Gematria tells the tale. Boston and basketball are identical in simple English and Pythagorean, equating to 85 and 22. And similar to how Brady and the National Football League equate to 85 with simple English, and Boston, New England is currently tied for the lead in most Super Bowls as well. The 85 connection is the reason the NBA allowed teams to resume practice on May 8th or 8/5 or 5/8. It also the reason the first March Madness was in 1985. And while we're off on championship leading cities tangent, let us not forget New York Yankees, identical to Society of Jesus in half of the base ciphers, leading the MLB, equating to 27 with simple English with 27 championships. God damn, New York Yankees. And makes you wonder why the Lyon women have so many titles as well, because they're based in France, and we know who's based in France, Jesuits. So they have the most UEFA Women's Champions League titles, right? And they're owned by Cuellar or whatever the fuck that shit is. But makes sense. To fill in more dots, to fill in a few more dots about Kobe Bryant's death and the larger ritual, including the coronavirus agenda and the rioting in the wake of George Floyd. Consider that at the beginning of the outbreak, Italy, the home of the Vatican, where Kobe Bryant grew up, was the hardest hit country in terms of cases and deaths, with the virus taking toll on the elderly and impoverished. In Gematria, Wuhan and Italy toll. Oh, sorry. In Gematria, Wuhan and Italy are identical in three out of the four ciphers, summoning to 22, 67, and 68. And where they don't match, Wuhan subs to 23 and Italy subs to 32, the reflection. As for the number 22 and 68, in both Wuhan and Italy, those coordinate with the gematria of basketball. Also summoning to 22 and 68, thus how Kobe fits in. Of course, the term coronavirus was coined in 1968, explaining why these elements fit together in the ritual. It is all about numbers and time, reminding us of the title of the fourth book of the Holy Bible, Numbers. And again, Kobe fell to fourth in scoring the day before his death. All right. In terms of the date, in terms of time, as a reminder, 1968, the infamous year, was 52 years before 2020, and Kobe Bryant was part of the Super Bowl 52 ritual won by Philadelphia, the biblically named city in Super Bowl played in Minnesota, equating to 52 like prophecy. And furthermore, after George Floyd's killing in Minnesota on the 93rd Meridian West and number Central in Martin Luther King Jr., the phrase "I can't breathe" became very popular. That Kobe's championed in 2014, a phrase having gematria both 52 and 74. And all of this shortly after the prophecy of Acts 7:6 was fulfilled in terms of U.S. history, and just before Patrick Mahomes, who made the 49ers 5-2 in the Super Bowl by beating them, signed what was reported to be a 400 plus million contract on July 6, 2020, and emphasized on the 7/6. Again, it was the first Chiefs Super Bowl victory since they had beaten the Minnesota Vikings 50 years earlier, a team name equating to 201, like George Floyd going with the rest of the 201 list. In the 18th chapter, we'll discuss why the killing of George Floyd took place 75 days after the NBA was suspended, when both Kobe and Martin summed to 75, the latter being the name of Martin Luther King Jr., who was in the boil and was pronounced dead at 7:05 p.m. local time. And keep in mind, Catholic Church also equates to 75, the same as New World Order. And as a reminder, please seek out New York Times story on October 6, 1940, with the top headline that day reading, "The New World Order pledged to Jews." Not by chance, that date had 75 numerology, a number that also corresponds with the gematria of order out of chaos and order itself. And adding to your 75 list, it is not by chance that Martin Luther King Jr.'s mother was assassinated June 30th, 1974, 75 days before her September 13th birthday. And on the subject of Catholic Church and New World Order, she was 69 years old, and both entities equate to 69 and 75, whereas the Jesuit order equates to 69 alone. Oh, shit. For another parallel between the Boyle, Kobe Bryant, and Martin Luther King is the number 80, with reverse simple English, where Boyle sums to 80 and Martin Luther King Jr. died April 4th, 1968, 80 days after his 80 days after his January 15th birthday. At the same time, Bryant sums to 80 with simple English and 26 with Pythagorean, whereas Boyle equates to 26 with reverse Pythagorean and 80 with reverse simple, bringing us back to Kobe's demise on the 26th day of the year. For a more recent example of the number 80 in terms of Black history, Kofi Annan, summoning to 80 with reverse Pythagorean, who received the Nobel Peace Prize equating to 80 with Pythagorean on October 13, 2001, the day leaving 80 days left in the year, died at age 80 on August 18, 2018. He was the first Black leader of the United Nations in Switzerland, a nation that has very much to do with the world affairs, from the World Health Organization to the World Economic Forum. Keep in mind, Kofi Annan died on a date with 44 and 64 numerology as well. Corresponding with the gematria of kill, equating to 44 and 64. Just after Obama's birthday, the man known as number 44, who became the 44th U.S. president 44 years after the 1964 U.S. Civil Rights Act, running on hope, a word equating to 44 and 64. Similar to Barack Hussein Obama and civil rights, both sum to 64 with Pythagorean. Let us not forget 1964 was 56 years before 2020, the year of all these running agendas come together. Oh, shit. Almost done, yo. All right. Nice. All right. And to further illustrate the point on how all these agendas, how all these agendas are truly coming together in 2020, we'll examine the death of Lisa Marie Presley's son on January 12, 2020, in greater detail in relation to the death of Kobe Bryant. As we connect the dots, keep in mind Elvis' daughter was born in 1968. The infamous year, 52 years prior to 2020, before reportedly losing her son at age 27 to suicide. The ritual number in Calabasas, the same city Kobe Bryant and 8 others fatally crashed to begin the year. As you know, Elvis Presley has much to do with the coronavirus riddle, and so does Kobe Bryant. So, to prove these two celebrity-related deaths in Calabasas is close proximity to one another were no coincidence, and to prove these two celebrity-related deaths in Calabasas in close proximity to one another were no coincidence, and that they were carried out by the same Jesuit Masonic network. We'll explain a few telling signs. For starters, July 12, 2020 had 59 date numerology, connecting the gematria of Calabasas, Black Mamba, Elvis Presley, each equating to 59 and 67. And keep in mind, kill sums to 59 with Jewish gematria, and killer sums to 67 with simple English. For another parallel, between the two deaths, her son named Benjamin Kanoff equates to 135 and 243. the exact same ciphers as Kobe Bean Bryant. Let us not forget the U.S. was 243 years old when Kobe died, or that there is now a movement to make the NBA logo the likeness of Kobe Bryant, replacing Jerry West, who happened to be 81 years old and 243 days past his birthday when Kobe died, having been born May 28, 1938, corresponding with the fact that Kobe Bean Bryant equates to 81 and 243. In regarding to the example of Kofi Annan, he died on the day leaving 135 days in the year, connecting to the fact that the Boyle's birthday is the 135th day of the year. At the same time, Boyle sums to 277 in Jewish gematria, the 59 prime. And I should note, some researchers contend that the Boyle were very fixated on Lucifer. With that in mind, let us not forget that Lucifer sums to 74 with simple English, or that Kobe Bryant's demise came during the 74th NBA season, or that Kobe Bryant was born on the day corresponding with Philadelphia, the original home of the Boyle. For another parallel between the deaths of Benjamin Canal and Kobe Bryant, they came a span of 169 days apart, the number having the square root of 13, corresponding with LA equated to 13. At the same time, LA equates to 41, the 13th prime number, the same as King, equating to 41 and 67, and that links to Kobe Bryant dying at 41, a man who had a tattoo of a crown on his arm, whereas Elvis Presley was called the king of rock and roll, and then considered these riddles in the time of coronavirus, where corona is the Spanish word for crown. Let us not forget, all these came not long after the death of Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, who died on the 41-year anniversary of Elvis, sometime before the first case of coronavirus was confirmed in the U.S. in Kings County. Brandon Canal also died on his 163rd day of his mother's age, the 38th prime number corresponding with death, murder, killing, rest in peace, R.I.P., Memphis, Graceland, and the Black Mamba, as well as George Floyd on the 38th Street before the murder trial was set for March 8th or 3/8. And Lucifer. Speaking of Lucifer, Lucifer is the light bearer, and Lucifer is known to be a fallen angel, the opposite face of God. You know what I'm saying? Lucifer wasn't always bad, right? Right? We weren't always bad. We weren't just born to be, born sinners. We weren't born to be evil. We were programmed. You know what I'm saying? We weren't born to be this way. Anyways, Lucifer gets a bad rep. I'm playing. But Lucifer is the bringer of light, right? And we're shining light in the darkness of this realm right now. So much light. So much light. You have to be the light in the darkness, and that's and then people see the light, and then you find the light within yourself, right? When you wake up, and you're like, oh shit. All right. As for the Jesuits' fingerprints on the ritual, the name Lisa Marie Presley sums to 79 and 187, the same as Society of Jesus, and reminding us that both helicopter crash and the Black Mamba equate to 79, the same as murder. Let us not forget Elvis died at age 42, corresponding with the gematria of Jesuit, and the fact that every mainstream media outlet reported Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash on the 4200 block, even though it crashed in the middle of the field. Beyond that, her son Benjamin Kanal died on his 266th day of his age, a number that would go without saying at the point, and joint a number without saying at this point, and that points straight to the Society of Jesus, aka the Jesuit Order. Also, I was coaching a basketball game. Well, I wasn't coaching. I was like a referee at a basketball game for for I9 Sports. That's what I was doing when one of the coaches was like, "Hey, did you hear about Kobe?" And so that's when I found out Kobe had died in a helicopter crane crash. I was at a basketball game. It was so fucking crazy, right? The synchronicities, fucking crazy. And then we all were bombarded. Well, because I didn't know any of this knowledge, Jack, we were all bombarded with COVID-19 fuckery. All right. To further the case of the relevance of 266 in relation to the Jesuits and the agendas we're exposing, in case somehow the evidence is lacking thus far, we'll examine what happened with Eminem, the Elvis Presley of his time, in the sense both white men were and are accused of making black music, and both men's names equate to 59. On July 9, 2020, it was Eminem's 266th day of being 47 years old, having been born October 17th, 1972. That also happened to be the date having 56 numerology and being written 7/9, while also being the 191st day of the year, corresponding with the gematria of Society of Jesus, equating to 56, 79, and 91. On the day Eminem released the song "The Adventures of Moon Man and Slim," equating to 135, the same as Central Intelligence Agency, and its current director, Gina Chair Haspel, the lyrics of the song received mainstream attention because they criticized people not wearing masks in the time of coronavirus and police brutality in the time of Hadman Arbery and George Floyd. In other words, it was the culture creators. In other words, it was the culture creators, the Jesuits, using their magician musical puppet to create more decisive content for the currently forming mass culture that is part of the new normal, a term equating to 42. And keep in mind, when the song came out, major cities were introducing hotlines to text images of people not wearing masks, thus were text images of people not wearing masks to thus a tattletale line for the purpose of government being given the opportunity to test the capabilities of their facial recognition technology systems that coronavirus created the excuse for. But luckily, it's just pretty much you just can't be in fear. You can't be in fear. If you're vibing on that love frequency, nobody really gonna fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the people that you see on the everyday, like when I walk down the street, I see people, of course, with masks on. Just like this morning. Well, they're everywhere. Of course, they're everywhere. There's a lot more asleep people than awake people. It's, at the moment, right? At the moment. But like when I go to the stores like Target, I mean, there's people without masks. There's people with masks. You know what I'm saying? We don't be social distancing. They have the dots on the ground, but we're always we're always close together. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just the type of timeline that I'm on. I'm not in fear, so I'm seeing the reflection with that in my reality. But of course, other people are in fear, but you just, hey, just let them. I let myself be an example of being a powerful spirit and not having to act, not being, uh, because when I see that, I see fear. When I see people with that, I see fear because that's what they've been programmed to do. And that's what timeline they're on is fear. They think that they're trying to help themselves. They think they're maybe helping others, but honestly, they're putting their body and they're putting themselves in a state of fear. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing in the air that's going to catch you. Because if it was going to get you when it came out, right? And the longer you allow yourself to be in fear, it will kill you. To further the case of the relevance of the 2-2, oh, wait, I already did that. On the subject of 135, I should note that Eminem released a music video on January 16, 2020, titled Darkness. It paid tribute to the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting, and it showed and recreated hotel room. It paid tribute to the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting, and it showed the recreated hotel room of the October 1st, 2017 shooter, with the room number chosen for the video being 135, proving that this was no accident in the fact that darkness sums to 91 with simple English gematria, and the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting was on October 1st, the day leaving 91 days left in the year. And to top it off, the music video released 91 days after Eminem's 47th birthday. And never mind that 91 is the 13th triangular number, and CIA equates to 13, or that the images shown in the media of the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooter featured a 13 tattoo on his neck. And since Eminem was 47 at the time of the release, since Eminem was 47 at the time of the release, never mind that it was reported on October 1st. The shooter owned at least 47 guns. Goodness. In light of the shooting happening in Nevada, one of the two states with simple English gematria of 47, and the other being Ohio, where Kid Cudi is from, a rapper having 47 named gematria, who shares the track The Adventures of Moon Man and Slim with Eminem. And yes, and for the person asking, yes, capital Steez sums to 47 with Pythagorean, as well as 187. And for people who don't know, he was a rapper who died young, who often expressed his fascination with the number 47. Also noteworthy, Eminem's Darkness song was part of an album that was released one day after the music video on January 17, 2020, a date with 58 numerology, reminding us that 58 were reportedly killed at the Route 91 Harvest Festival the Harvest Festival shooting on the 58th day of then Nevada Governor Sandoval's age, a man born August 5th or 5/8, and who was 54 years old when it happened. Adding to the riddle, Eminem's album with the song Darkness, titled Music to be Murdered By, was was in tribute to monologues done by Alfred Hitchcock in the year 1958. All right. Adding to the riddle, Eminem's album with the song Darkness titled Music to Be Murdered By, was in tribute to the monologues done by Alfred Hitchcock in year 1958. And also, if you know about more of the rabbit hole of Eminem, that nigga cloned. That nigga cloned too. That nigga dead and cloned. That's what they say too as well. And like, there's lots of YouTube videos of this guy glitching, like being stuck. And there's lots of those glitching videos if you haven't seen. I've seen glitching videos of Draymond Green, like they just freeze for a good minute, like no movement, right? No movement. Because if you see the movie Get Out, right, these niggas wanted to feel what it was like to be, quote unquote, an NBA player, to be a rapper, to be an entertainer. These entities want to possess these celebrity influencers to live their lives, right? You're like, oh, what is it like to live your life, you know? And so, and they got handlers, MK Ultra handlers, right? All right, make sure you do this. We got to teach you. We got to coach you, right? So, yeah, they say, they say Eminem is cloned and dead, and now he's replaced with someone else that's playing Eminem. So just like Gucci Mane, and just like some of the other, probably almost all of them, they're just killing them and then they're replacing them, right? And so, they'll continue they'll be continued to be used in whatever agendas they have them used in, pretty much mainly just to divide and conquer, right? Order out of chaos, right? And before they were tainted, they were good people, right? Before they were made to fucking take pictures in blood and stuff like that, all the satanic stuff that they're told to do. Before that, they were really good. They were innocent of heart. They didn't, I don't think they expected that to, when they first got into the industry. And then, once they were in too deep, they were like, yeah, you think you're just going to walk away clean? No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And if you get away clean, oh shit, man, you're lucky, because a lot of them, they're fucked up now. A lot of them are fucked up. They're like, what the fuck happened to you? What the fuck happened? They didn't fuck them up. Especially all the celebrities that come back with pink hair, the MK Ultra. And for them, it's even on a bigger stage, right? It's so sad. It's sad. That's why, for all the people that they need to become independent, right? They don't need to be, but your shit won't sell. Your shit, you'll only be popular as much as work you put in, right? All right. It is fair to say that then there is no doubt Eminem was chosen as a government pawn at the age of 47 in his career, intentionally, in light of how important the number 47 is to government, a word equating to 47, and the number being especially important to Washington, D.C., the national federal headquarters, as you learned about earlier, the city that is a Jesuit and Vatican stronghold. If you have not seen the Darkness music video, it ends with the advertisement for the U.S. federal government, instructing people how they can turn into their weapons, making it all easier for the government's perspective to have dominion over masses. And let us not forget, the CIA was created in 1947 and is interested in mind control. And when it comes to mind control, the power of celebrity is very, very persuasive. Not anymore. By now, you should know that you should stop worshiping celebrities. You should stop worshiping these athletes, because they ain't speaking like Anita Flying High is. Shit, you could fuck around get my fucking jersey. Fuck. Nah, you know what I'm saying? Or get a jersey with your fucking name on it, because you the fucking star. Fucking A. You more of important than half. Not, they were. And here's the thing. we're all spirits and bodies. So before they had something, there's still, they make their creativity, they take their magic, they take their talents and make it evil. They invert it. These are talented people. We have talented people that walk this planet. We're talented. Everyone's talented. But then you get in the holds of the shadow government and these niggas fuck you up. They fuck you up. Now you're all fucking fucked up in the head. It's mainly mind control. Because once you take someone, it's like where the mind goes, the body goes. So once they take your mind, you're all gone, right? They're gone. So it's either you can call it mind control, you can call it witchcraft, you can call it MK Ultra, whatever you want to call it. It is you not being able to think for yourself. Someone else outside of you is thinking for you, right? So, and it goes deep because when our minds are taken, we lose ourselves. Or what happens? Someone else was the controller of your reality. You have to be the controller of your reality. You know what I'm saying? You are the player in this game of the Matrix, right? And everyone around you is either agent or another Neo or Trinity. You know what I'm saying? And listen, remember when Morpheus was like, it's red pill or blue pill? No. Fuck that shit. We ain't taking no pills, bitch. We can see the red niggas and the blue niggas perfectly fine without taking the red or blue pill. Okay? We just woke the fuck up without any pills. You know what I'm saying? But that's the movie Matrix. Morpheus was lost in the sauce. And shout out to Uriel. He says Morpheus is the fourth dimension, right? But we are living, if you're awake, we talk about the 5D being the love frequency vibration, but the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension is the realm of the thoughts and feelings. It's the realm of life. So we are really, like God said, creating our life by the spoken word. So we are speaking our reality into existence. So you have to make sure you're speaking what you want to occur in your life every single day to the creator, to the universe, psych the universe up. Know that you're grateful for what you have and you're satisfied for what you have. And know that there's more to be able to obtain, even during these chaotic agenda-ass times. You know what I'm saying? That is so great. Continue to speak your reality to existence. If you want to talk about football, like me, I can continue to speak that to reality, but also be in the in-between realm, right? Be aware, but also enjoy. Because that's how powerful we are. We don't have to choose that or the other. We can be in between, and that's where the seat of your soul sits. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be able to have equilibrium between that. But it's a thin line because sometimes we get rocked under the current, we get washed under the current based upon the transits. You know what I'm saying? The transits move. We got mood swings. We got feelings and emotions. And then also, the more we continue to study ourselves, the more we continue to develop. Of course, every level, new devils. But as we become even more powerful in remembering, these devils soon, all they can do is try to scare you, manipulate you. But just realize, bitch, I'm immortal. What they gonna do to an immortal being? What can they do to you if you know that you're immortal? Huh? What can they do to you? Okay, well now you won't have. I don't really have too many friends, so I won't get off the phone and call somebody. I don't even talk to anybody like that. I only talk to y'all on the internet. I don't really have too many people that I can go outside and actually connect with. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it just needs to be that way. But anyways, people can come across my work on my YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And if they're interested, they can hit me up on my social medias. But a speaker of truth doesn't have many friends. You know what I'm saying? The people that have a lot of friends, I don't know, man. Sometimes the niggas is fake. It's a thin line. All right. To make another point. All right. To make another point about celebrity and the Jesuit and the repetition of ritual And another story taking place on July 9, 2020, and also related to Eminem. It was the assumed drowning of the third member of the TV show Glee, and that was Naya Rivera at age 33. She was the same actress who sang the song If I Die Young in October 10th, 2013 episode of the hit show. In that song, there are lyrics about being laid down in the river at dawn, a body of water that spelled very similar to Rivera. Further, the title of the song sums to 56, matching the date numerology of the news of her disappearance. And further, her name, Naya Maria Rivera, equates to 79 with Pythagorean gematria, and the show Glee equates to 79 with reverse simple, similar to how murder sums to 79 with simple English, connecting to the date 7/9. Keep in mind, Society of Jesus equates to both 56 and 79, as well as 187 and 191. And in the case of Rivera, the news came on the 191st day of 2020, and 187 days before her upcoming birthday, January 12, 2021. Adding to the riddle, her body was recovered on July 13, 2020, a date that can be written 13/11, like 137, the 33rd prime. Worse yet, it was the 7-year anniversary in the 7th month of the death of Corey Monteith, the first member of the Glee to die. Not by chance, when you write out 33, it sums to 66, and it is also true with Corey Monteith and Naya Rivera. Killing off these children, killing off these actors and actresses. And then, the other guy, one of them was a cute, well, probably pedophile as well. Another Glee guy. All right. As for how Eminem fits in, it is through this. As for how Eminem fits in, it is through his hit song 97 Bonnie and Clyde, where the lyrics about drowning the mother of his child, as well as the use of words just the two of us, from the Bill Withers hit song by the same name, a song that was sung by the man who died by the code to start 2020. And again, it was also sung by Will Smith. This matters because Naya Rivera last post on July 8th with the words just the two of us. Of course, the date of the news, July 9th, can be written 9/7, similar to 97, corresponding with the gematria of death, and Eminem's hit song 97 Bonnie and Clyde. What makes this riddle undeniable, however, is that on April 2nd, 2020, it was reported that Liv Kennedy and her son disappeared in a canoe accident, a word equating to 20, 25, 38, and 97, in all the exact same ciphers as death, and a date that was precisely 97 days before the disappearance of Naya Rivera, July 8, 2020. Furthermore, when their bodies were found April 6, 2020, it was the 97th day of the leap year, and they were said to be recovered in 25 feet of water. 97 is the 25th prime in a town of Shadyside, Maryland, equating to 97 with reverse Pythagorean. Never mind that the family's surname Kennedy equates to 33, and Naya Rivera was 33, or that Eminem lost his close friend and rap associate Proof when Eminem was 33 years old. The killing happened April 11, 2006, a date with 51 numerology, corresponding with the gematria of conspiracy. I bring it up because the word just the two of us equate to 51 and 156, the same as Naya Rivera. And while we're at it, 33 also sums to 156 with simple English. For another, Lake Pure equates to 51, and that is where Naya Rivera reportedly drowned. And if you're not aware of the word pure, means devil in Finnish. And Eminem has an album called Devil's Night as well. Even further, Naya Rivera starred in the film At the Devil's Door that premiered March 9, 2014, 56 days after Rivera's 24th birthday. That can a date that can be written 9/3 like 93. Corresponding with the fact that Lake Peru sums to 93 with simple English. The number of Saturn, who the occult is also recognized as Satan. In fact, she is often shown wearing a red sweater with the number 33. In the film, she's often shown wearing a red sweater with the number 33 on it, the age of her planned demise. Also, when the Peace Dealer, I was listening to the Peace Dealer, and so remember these energies that they are harnessing from the planets, because Saturn is something. Saturn, they say, is a planet that is has heavy influence here on this, of course, this body of water they're in. And Saturn may eat babies. You know what I'm saying? Saturn may kill children. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Peace Dealer said. But I mean, Saturn don't have to do that. But I mean, you think about it. Saturn, the masculine version of Saturn is Aquarius, and the feminine version of Saturn is Capricorn. You know, and I'm an Aquarius moon, so I have the masculine energies of Saturn. But Aquarius is also co-ruled by Uranus, but Uranus is a little further out. So, but still, it has a little percentage level. But my moon sign is mainly ruled by Saturn. Me being Aquarius, me being the masculine, me being having the masculine side of the Saturnian energies. So, you know, sometimes that's why sometimes I'm not as emotional. And plus, I'm an air sign. So, I mean, you know, me being Gemini. And, but yeah, shout out to, you don't have, anyways. So, I'll note that Rivera's disappearance 93 days after Meade Kennedy. Hold on. So we talked about in the film, she was often shown wearing a red sweater with the number 33 on it at the age of her planned demise. And because the number 33 also resonates with the Kennedy family, I'll note that Rivera appeared 93 days after Meade Kennedy and her son were found on April 6 or 4/6, reminding us of JFK's death at age 46 and the greater parallels to the number such as Catholic and sacrifice. In this case, Rivera's character in the film At the Devil's Door is Dave Vera, a name equating to 46 with simple English. Keep in mind the name of the film sums to 84 and 177, the same as Jesuit order, corresponding with how it premiered 56 days after her birthday, the numbers matching Society of Jesus and the date numerology of the news of her disappearance, as well as the gematria of If I Die Young, the song she sang in 2013. And as if the case wasn't already close, Naya Rivera also played the part of Blanca Alvarez, equating to 46 with Pythagorean, a character that dies in the 33rd episode of Devious Maids that released July 13, 2015, 5 years on the day of her body being recovered. I'll add the title Devious Maids sums to 51, connecting both Lake Peru and Naya Rivera and Rome. Furthermore, the title sums to 75 like Catholic Church. So as you know, all our TV shows are going to have their occult and symbolism and how they want you to see reality. So if you don't question what you're seeing on TV, there is truth in it. There are certain principles and virtues that you can take. You know what I'm saying? There are certain principles and virtues you can see how you just have to see. You have to see the gems in the shows that they're creating because they are telling us something. You know, because I like to watch a lot of the TV shows when it comes to the lawyers, when it comes to like the cops. I would like to watch a lot of the reality TV shows because they choose certain people with certain principles and virtues, with certain mentalities to be able to present to us, right? To shape the way we think. Or we say, oh, we see this guy do it because of this is how, but this is just how he thinks. This is not how I think. It's just how what he thinks. And whatever principle and virtue and how he thinks, the shadow government wants to promote that. And wants us as the other people that are not on the television programs to attract that into our realities as well. That's why you need to think for yourself and have your own way of thinking, not let the TV program you to their way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? But there are certain principles and virtues that you can take. Like I said, I told you about American Gods. Oh, girl, she was leaving stuff off on her alt, quote unquote. She was leaving things for the leprechaun, right? Always left an offering for the leprechaun because she believed, she had faith. And the more abundant she got, the less she stopped giving. She stopped giving the offering until she got in a fucked up position, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta remember." And then, bam. But every time she fucked up, every time she would get in a fucked up situation, and she's like, "I remember," or I need to continue to give offerings. It always came back to her. You know what I'm saying? So never forget. You know, the Creator won't turn your back. Will never turn your back on us. You know what I'm saying? We have to turn our back on the Creator. You know, but the door is always open for us. We are, quote unquote, the fact that we have immortal life is great. You know, forever. Shit. Oh, you're trying to find. Just remember, we are not we are not our creations. We are the creators. So we must create our reality and don't get lost in the creations that we create for ourselves. Because we ain't taking none of this shit with us. We're just gonna experience what we create for ourselves, right? But we ain't taking none of this stuff. Can't take my crystals with me. But I would, but you can. I mean, fuck. And then I don't even. Anyways, let me stop that. All right. And I should also point out that the riddles connecting news, sports, and entertainment are intent. I should also point out that these riddles connecting news, sports, and entertainment are international, and that I am only focusing on small group. I'm only focusing on a small group of examples in the U.S. because this happens to be the nation I live in as the author. But to make a point about the same things happening overseas in European football, Real Madrid, with their crown as a logo, reportedly lost their former owner Lorenzo Sanz to coronavirus, or the crown virus, at age 76, an age corresponding with the gematria of Spain, where Madrid is. What made this riddle all the more interesting is that the fact that his death came while Real Madrid's league was on pause due to coronavirus outbreak, and they were struck on 56, and they were stuck on 56 points in league play, corresponding with the gematria of coronavirus. They they were only trailing Barcelona, who had 58 points, where Barcelona Spain sums to 58 with Pythagorean, and for more familiar numbers, Real Madrid equates to 68, the same as basketball and Wuhan, and reminding us of 1968, the year coronavirus was coined. And if you want to practice your gematria skills, go back and revisit the first 10 or first 10 or so NBA players to come down with coronavirus in the headlines. And you won't be surprised to see that nearly all the names equate to 68, including Kevin Durant, who was drafted by the Seattle Supersonics out of Seattle, Washington, also equating to 68, where the outbreak in the United States began. At the same time, the diagnosis, he was playing for the Brooklyn Nets, owned by Jay-Z, reminding us how Kobe Bryant died on Jay-Z's 54th day of age, and that the Nets used to be in New Jersey, home of the 201 area code. What is that pharmaceutical giant mecca? What is the pharmaceutical giant mecca? It is to say, it reminds us how it all comes full circle, kind of like The Lion King, that released July 19th, 2019, 56 weeks before JC's wife's Black is King, a related film. Like I said, Jack is only hitting in America. There's gematria going on in sports as well. That's why I'm like, Barcelona's reign. And you just think about it, like when I look at their football team, of course they were just better. They just looked like they were a better group of ladies. But when it came to the Champions League, I was like, they faced certain teams. PSG didn't have, you know what I'm saying? We can get to the devil of the details, but it was all scripted. So I'm happy that when I start to, I really want to start seeing if I can find the codes in women's football, because I know they're there. You know what I'm saying? I know that they're there. I know that they're scripting the games. I know that I was like, I know they're doing something, but it's like, it's hard to see it when it comes to the ladies, because they play like, the teams that they play are not as, like, you could see they're not as well. They're not as good, right? Or are they? Or are they? Are they? Like I said, the both games we watched, if you watched the games with me, both Racing Louisville beat Bayern, and then Portland beat Lyon, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? They both home teams won, right? Both home teams won. And the saying, the house never loses. Y'all, we know the saying, the house never loses. And whose house is this? Fuck these shadow government niggas. Anyways. For one more point on the number 68, I must mention the film Space Jam equates to 68 with simple English. It involves a plot where details on the NBA season being suspended due to a virus caused by aliens, and it released November 15th, 1996, a span of 13 days from the Kobe's November 3rd debut in the NBA, while Michael Jordan, the star of the film, was 33 years old. The film also released 94 days before Jordan's February 17th, 1977 birthday. And as we know, 68 and 94 have quite the relationship, connecting to things we have covered, ranging from MLK's assassination to the World Trade Centers, to Seattle, Washington, to Davos, Switzerland, to the word terror itself. In this case, coronavirus pandemic also equates to 94, with the word corona alone sums to 96, corresponding with the year the film came out. And let us not forget, coronavirus was coined in 1968. Furthermore, the movie released on the day leaving 46 days in the year, and virus sums to 46, the same as Chicago, where Michael Jordan was the big star at the time. And please keep in mind, Chicago is where Tom Hanks moved from in Sleepless in Seattle, and that Seattle and Chicago were the first two cities in U.S. to confirm cases of coronavirus. Let us not overlook that Michael Jordan was 56 years old at the time of Kobe Bryant's burial in Corona Del Mar, and let us also hope that a celebrity such as Michael Jordan will pick up this book and be inspired to spill the beans, because Jordan's tears at the Kobe Bryant because Jordan's tears at the Kobe Bryant Memorial February 24, 2020 told me he knew something that he did not speak on that was truly tearing him apart inside. In my opinion, if he were a real legend, he would have let it out because the world needs to know the truth. Real shit. But his whole family could be killed. People would be like, "What, Michael Jordan? You don't have that much." Listen, nigga, Michael Jordan. What do you have to lose, nigga? What does any one of these celebrities have to lose besides your life? Bitch, you're immortal. But I mean, besides your life, what else do you have to lose exposing the truth, huh? You got the inside scoop. We'll help you, nigga. We'll help you. I mean, any way we can, bitch. But you got most of the money, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You got most of the money, nigga. You don't got a lot of the money, but you got more money than we do at the moment. You know what I'm saying? It only takes a couple of celebrities. I got celebrities here. I got the San Antonio Spurs play here in San Antonio. If the celebrities, if these athletes pick up Zach's book, like, oh shit, and nigga, we talking about we could be sacrificed based upon our names, based upon fuck. Oh shit. And then niggas know, oh damn, and then they can't tell us. They gonna die with that on their heart, man. And you know what they say. Is your light heart is your light is your light is your heart light as a feather. Are you gonna die with that, or are you just gonna be like, fuck it, I need to speak my truth, like Kanye did, and like others did, and Kanye got MK Ultra, and now he's a billionaire. But Kanye, they keep taking the essence of these great musicians, great artists, great athletes, great people like us. They take their, it feels like they take their innocence and invert it and make it satanic and gross. Right? To gain the riches of this world. You know what I'm saying? The more money the more money you have, based upon you being in that magic square, you had to shake certain amount of hands. You had to walk through certain doors, unless you're self-made, unless you're an entrepreneur. But still that, you have to shake some hands with demons. So it's tricky. Like I said, the more of us wake up, the more angels we'll be shaking hands with, instead of having to go through demons that control this, that run around rampant, chaotic. All right. To close with a few more familiar numbers, I want to bring attention to the two books that Kobe Bryant released shortly before his death. The first was released March 19, 2019, 157 days before his 41st birthday, titled The Wizard Series, Training Camp. You know the drill with 157 and 41 in terms of Kobe Bryant. And to add to the list, the protagonist of the story, Roby, Roll Labi Wiznard, equating to 157 with simple English. The other thing to see in the book is that the Wisnard series sums to 251, the 54th prime, again corresponding with Kobe Bryant. With this title and numerical relationship of 54 and 251 in mind, recall what we have learned earlier about the cartoon Legends of Chamberlain Heights and the deaths of both Wilt Chamberlain and Kobe Bryant. What I did not mention about the cartoon before is that it was released on Kobe Bryant's 86th day of his age, a number connecting to the gematria of blood sacrifice, as well as human sacrifice, plus the term 86th even further. John Wayne Airport equates to 86, where Kobe Bryant reportedly was traveling from when he died. I bring it up because the title I bring it up now because the name Rolabia Wiseland Wise. What the fuck? I bring that up. I bring it up because the name Rolabia Wisenard sums to 86 as well. And while we're at it, it also sums to 76, like Negro. And like how Kobe Bryant grew up a Philadelphia 76ers fan and reportedly crashed in helicopters. And reportedly crashed in a helicopter called the Sikorsky S-76, named after Igor Ivanich Sikorsky? What the fuck kind of name is this? Summoning to 126, and who died on the 26th of October. Further connecting dots, the fictional character, Mr. Wisnard, teaches a group of boys to play basketball at the fictional Fairwood Community Center, equating to 118 and 125 in the same ciphers as Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. At the same time, Fairwood alone sums to 125, just like Training Camp. The second part of the title, the Wisnard series Training Camp, the number 125 also connects to the numerology, same with 55. The detail remains me of Darian Dalton, who played for the Philadelphia Phillies and who wrote a book, If They Only Knew, about numerology and sports, and who died 215 days after his 55th birthday, similar to how Philadelphia area code equated to 215. His death came before the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl in Minneapolis, equating to 55, and making the Patriots 5-5 in Super Bowls. Furthermore, he died on August 6th, emphasized on 8/6, reminding us of the Eagles, reminding us that the Eagles won the Super Bowl on a touchdown catch from number 86, Zach Ertz, 86 days after his birthday, in a season played 86 years after the national anthem was adopted. His death was also a span of 183 days before the Eagles won the Super Bowl over the Patriots from Massachusetts, a state equating to 183. And Darian Dalton, and in that Darian Dalton's case, August 6th also leaves 147 days left in a year. And Darian Dalton sums to 146 with simple English, same as World Series. Again, it speaks on how repetitive, and it speaks on how repetitive the rituals are. As for the second book Kobe Bryant released, it was Ipaka, Ipaka, the tree of Ekroth, the island of gods. It is about a fictional world filled with magic and basketball, having a title equating to 178 with reverse Pythagorean, similar to how Kabbalah equates to 178 with reverse Pythagorean. Reverse simple. On the cover of the book, it shows a bright and colorful tree above ground and a dark and withered tree below ground. Of course, it is paying tribute to Kabbalah's tree of life and also the half dark known as the Klupot, a word having gematria of 51 and 666, the same as helicopter. I'll finish by saying it is no accident this book released on November 12, 2019, 81 days after Kobe's birthday and 75 days before before his death. As you know, Kobe Bryant equates to 81, Wizard equals 81, with both simple and reverse simple, and he was the man who had a career high of 81 points in his 666th NBA game, scoring 66% of the points. And at the same time, the name Kobe alone equates to 75, the same as New World Order and Catholic Church, reminding us that the term the Cabal comes from Kabbalah, a secret society that grew out of the church, and the language of gematria comes from within Kabbalah. If you take the time to seek out the cover of the book, Ipaka, the tree of Ekroth, the islands of the gods, you will be reminded of the phrase, "A picture is worth 1,000 words." And for the record, Ipaka equates to 95, reminding us once again who is in charge, the Jesuit order. And I'm happy that Zach put that in. A picture is worth 1,000 words. But whose words do we continue to see? These fuckers, shadow government's fucking words. Their fucking meanings and their fucking meanings. Oh, excuse me. This concludes chapter 16 of Number Games. Woo! We did it, yo. This is a long ass fucking chapter. It says, you want to be famous? Nigga, are you not reading along with us in this book? Nigga, excuse my French. Are you not reading along with us in this book? You not know that if you become famous, they might kill you. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I'm playing. It just happens. It's the robots, automatic machines. But anyways, a picture. Let's say it again. He says a picture. A picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And speaking on that word, a picture can mean 1,000 words, meaning when you see a picture, it's all about what you see. What do you see it? But since we've been programmed to see certain images, and the only way the shadow government has taught us to see things, our 1,000 words are very similar, right? So when you look at that picture, you might see the same shit, but in a different way. But it's all under their umbrella corporation, the Jesuits, the Cabal, whatever, the shadow government, right? So that's why it's still a great sentence, because you should know that we'll have individual ways of thinking and individual ways of seeing things, but just not in the shadow government's way. And we have to remember that. Everything they present to us could be a fucking lie, which majority of it is, because if they've been lying to us from the jump, what makes you think they're not lying to us now? Now, not all of it's a lie, okay? Some of it is true. You have to find what resonates with you, and you have to find the tools that it's being, you have to find the things one within yourself that they are presenting to you based upon whatever things that you're interested in. You know what I'm saying? Because there is truth in things. You know, there's a seed of truth in everything. I always feel. And so, yeah, y'all, this was a great chapter. I enjoyed reading it. You know, rest in peace, Kobe. I mean, it's just like, you know, we're reading about all these deaths of these entertainers, these celebrity athletes, and this is just in America. And this is not even Zach. This is a 365-page book. Zach can't knock on everyone who's been ritually sacrificed. You know what I'm saying? But we all know who it ties back to: the shadow government, the cabal, whatever you want to call them. Just call them shadow government. You know what I'm saying? Remember their logo, their symbology. A lot of it is subconsciously programming us, right? So that's what that does. It's programming our mentalities. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at these people, unfortunately, I look at you. Even when I look at the athletes, I'm like, so you're in fear? So you're in fear? They might not be in fear, but I feel like they are. I mean, they're just doing what they're doing what they're told. So you're a sheeple. So you're not really. So we know who not to go to when we know who not to go to or even listen to when. Well, actually, it's just too late. We already know that we shouldn't be asking celebrities for help because they're probably all brains than bronze, right? Okay, and they're just here to entertain us with their athleticism, which I enjoy. But you know, when it comes to everything going on, I'm like, oh damn, you know, what the fuck is y'all? Y'all be making me mad. I want to, you know, y'all need to come in contact with your girl. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to look at people that look like you. Y'all gotta wake up. You know what I'm saying? We need everyone. We don't want you to be ritualistic. I don't want you to be another sacrifice, another number in their game. Your girl does not want that for you. But the more y'all continue to allow y'all's magic to be used against y'all, you know, you're not setting anybody up for success. You're setting yourself up to be ritually sacrificed. And the better puppet, that's why you got to be peeping game. That's why I'm like, okay, so I'm looking at all the stars, especially in the women's game, who they're presenting to us as faces. Because, I mean, I'm like, damn, so they're really good sheeple. They're really good sheeple. Messy. But in the women's game, I'd be like, damn, a lot of the Barcelona chicks, a lot of the Portland chicks, I'm like, damn, y'all are all like, I'm like, oh shit. Like, y'all need to be careful. They ain't giving you these titles for no reason. They ain't giving you this shit for no reason. They gonna want what they want eventually. And whatever contract you sign, y'all need to be careful. Y'all need to come through. Nita Flying High is warning you. Zach's warning you. We're all warning y'all. And not just in celebrity sports. People that are not in celebrity sports. People that have everyday jobs like me, 9-to-5 jobs. Listen, if we don't make enough noise for ourselves, you know what I'm saying, we won't be heard. Listen, you're a living legend like I am. You know what I'm saying? You're a living legend like I am. You know, shout out to Nino Brown. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're in, like I said, we're in some times where it's like, you know, you gotta stay prayed up, you know what I'm saying? You gotta stay grateful. You gotta go within, you gotta meditate, you gotta figure out what your next best move is. You gotta figure out how to move. You know what I'm saying? In the best way you can. You gotta do what's best for you at the moment, you know what I'm saying? Don't be in fear. Everything will work out for itself. Everything will work out for you because you have the intentions of working out, and you're speaking it to the universe, right? And remember, you know, we need to be of service to each other any way we can. You know what I'm saying? In any way you can be of service to the people, do that. Okay. And no matter what it looks like, okay? And remember, we're the pioneers. You know what I'm saying? Our elders, our parents. You know, unfortunately, they weren't the generation to be able to help teach us the truth. But we are the generation, if you're my age or a little younger or a little bit older as well, we are the generation, especially I have Pluto and Sagittarius. So as the Peace Dealer says, Uranus, and I think one more planet are the generational ones that they planets like move like every like hundreds of years. So me being a Pluto Sagittarius, it's like 1995 to like 2008. I think that's the Pluto Sagittarius era. We're gonna be destroying this, not destroying, but we're gonna be putting flames to like all these weak ass principles and virtues, all these weak ass shit, right? We're gonna be telling you, fuck these. Excuse me. We're gonna be telling you to remember that you're the fucking celebrity in your damn life. You need to be worshiping yourself. Get your football jersey with your name on it. Fuck these athletes. I'm just saying they ain't doing nothing for you. Don't be buying. You can still buy a jersey. Don't. And I'm not saying you don't have to get their name. I'm just saying I'm just talking my stuff because I'm not gonna get any jersey of a player's name on it until they deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Until they deserve. Like, what have you done? Like, have you told us any truth about what have you done? Because they have the stage for it. But anyways, no pressure on them because mainly they're probably just brains. They're probably just bronze. But, being the part of the Pluto Sagittarius era, we are going to be helping destroy a lot of this fuckery that goes on, right? Infiltrate it from every angle, and any angle that you can, right? To your best of your ability with the resources that you have, right? Continue to do you. Continue to have fun, and you're gonna connect with people that are like, all right, cool. I like what you got going on, and they want to help. Teamwork makes the dream work in this realm. Shout out to the Soul Group. You know what I'm saying? I'm connecting with people that resonate with me. But you just gotta continue to do you. I can't tell you. All I can tell you is what I've done. All I've done was I shadow work, meditated. Drink a lot of water. I journal a lot because I'm an air sign. I need to get my thoughts out. You know what I'm saying? I talk a lot because I'm an air sign. That's just what I'm here supposed to do. Talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not too emotional because of the Saturn on my moon, and we're learning a lot about Saturn, learn about Saturn energies. But the sun rules my chart because I'm a Leo ascendant. So, I'm connected to the source energy, as we all are, but I chose this space to be, this is where I chose when I came to this life. This is what position I chose, certain elements, certain things I needed to learn from, certain things that I brought with me from my last life, the things that I loved and things that I enjoyed. You know what I'm saying? But, as you can see at the rate where we're at, depending on what location you're at, your restrictions could be lighter, worse or better. I know Zach's in either Portland or Washington or Seattle, and he's saying that the toxicity in the air, because they're spraying shit in the air, is really bad. And I'm like, damn. But over here in Texas, it's good, and you know what I'm saying? It's good. Where I'm at in San Antonio, it's good. So I'm grateful. Wherever you're at, I hope it's well. You know what I'm saying? Hope you're not being restricted in any way. And listen, fuck it. They make you do. Listen, all you have to do is say no. Fuck it. They want to make you wear a mask into the store, and you don't want to wear a mask in the store. Fuck it. I'm not wearing a mask in that store. I'm not going to wear a mask because they want you to submit. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, oh well, if you don't want to go shopping, well, we go Amazon. Fuck that shit, nigga. Find a way. Find a way for yourself. Find a way for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you will. It's in your surroundings. Fasting helps, so you won't eat as much. Do whatever you do to correlate yourself. You know what I'm saying? And just continue to gain the knowledge that there's so much people that are very consciously aware of what's going on in this realm, that are on the YouTube, that are on platforms, that have books, that have websites that are going to help you, learn more tips and tools to be able to navigate this matrix. And you'll find your tools to be able to navigate this matrix, you know what I'm saying? Because you can, I see people on the internet all the time that have hacked the matrix and that have made a living outside the matrix. And that's where eventually your girl is manifesting, because, I'm not trying to go back until fucking 95. So But like I said, to each his own. Some of us will be going back to the Matrix to help destroy all the fuckery and help rebuild it. Because when the world has already ended, when the world has no more government control, which eventually will come. Look what's going on in Afghanistan. When the people finally said, fuck it, we're done, we're tired. When that happens, we're gonna need governments. We're gonna need people to set rules and regulations on what people can do, because it's going to be an all-out craziness, right? Because we are insane as people. We have no house training. We've only been told to do what we've only been had examples to tell us what to do. So when people start to have, oh shit, I have all this freedom, what am I supposed to do with it? They go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're going to start doing the most, right? They're going to start doing the most, because you just know this is the type of people that we have here. They already do it with the rules and regulations. Just imagine when there's like no government, no the police. You know what I'm saying? People are going to be all out fucking crazy. All right. So make sure you remain calm. Make sure you remain, focused on whatever you're manifesting in your reality. Stay on your timeline. Stay in your zone. Stay at equilibrium. But continue to share and connect and share yourself, because people need to know you're out here. You know what I'm saying? People need to know there's other quote unquote truth seekers. There's other people that are out here that are aware and awake, to continue to inspire each other, to continue to remember we're not in this alone, that we're in this together. Okay, there's 7 billion people here. You ain't alone in the unseen and seen realm, period, point blank. Okay, your girl Anita Flying High is here with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm here too. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So we gonna continue to ride this time, this life. Right? We're going to continue to walk with faith and know that this too shall pass. When it's all out chaos eventually coming, just remember that we were prepared for the agendas. Make sure the next agenda that they try to put, whatever they try to present to us, peak game. Make sure you remain calm, cool, and collected, and react to respond. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Make sure you're keeping game. See what they're trying to do. Because remember, it's all about them trying to divide us. So anything that you might see, if you go down that lane, oh shit, that looks like that's the lane of division. Turn your fucking ass around. All right? Turn your ass around. Because that's what they always want us to do. They want us to separate. Just because you don't look like me, don't mean we can't be friends, nigga. But a lot of people are in that witchcraft, or in that mind control, or in that mentality, based upon all the history that we have been taught, based upon what we look like and what we're supposed to do. It's a collective consciousness. So, like I said, I'll tell you, I wasn't around black people, quote unquote black people. So when this whole thing happened, all the black people want to flock to me. Oh, black. No, hold on, I was never around any of y'all in my whole life. Okay, I don't know how y'all get down. I can't help that, because I wasn't around people like you. And that's not your fault, and that's not my fault either. It's just I don't resonate with that. I just don't resonate with that. I resonate with more, as it goes, I like football. So I resonate more with people from overseas. You know what I'm saying? I resonate more with people outside of America, because I'm more of I consider myself an international galactic being. And I always knew, you have a knowing when you're young, you just don't know. And now that I'm older, it's like, it makes so much sense, it just makes sense, why I enjoy more of the, I don't like what America has done to quote unquote people that look like me. So I don't resonate with that timeline of what the Americans have done to people that look like me. Not saying I don't acknowledge that, but when you get on that path, that starts to take you down, oh, black this, black that, and that's separation. And they'll continue to feed that ego of separation to the people that look like me and to the people that don't look like me. Oh, black lives, blah, blah, you know what I'm saying? Because then it fucks shit up, and then we can't come together. You know what I'm saying? Especially for the future of the children. We need to remember to teach the children that just because we look differently doesn't mean we can't love each other. You know what I'm saying? Just because the people that be in the race box are fucking just like, what? Why? Like, I want to strangle them sometimes. I'm like, I just want you to get out of that box, because that box is of limitations and restrictions, and it isn't about unity. It's about division. and that's it. You're playing right into the shadow government's hand. So we got a peak game. Continue to peak game. I mean, today's the 23rd. It's a Monday. A moon day. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're almost done with the book. We just finished chapter 16. We got 17, 18, and 19, and then the book's complete. And I don't know where else this is gonna take me, but I'm gonna continue to, of course, give y'all my football as I do. Shout out to Houston Dash. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna continue to do that. Continue to, remember my footprints in the sand, and however I correlate that in my life. I mean, I want to share with you all that are watching, that want to watch, and that want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we're fighting that good fight, and we're sharpening our arm, we're sharpening our swords, and we're wearing that armor of God. And let me go on the thesis book real quick that we talked about. What is it? A thesis 6-7. Let me see. A thesis 6-7. I think it's right. A thesis 6-7. Oh my bad. It's 6-2. My bad. It's not. It's not that. In the say King James version. Let me go back. Share that with y'all. Y'all got that? Y'all got that? All right, like it says. Let me see. Hold on.
Ephesians 6. Children, obey your parents in the Lord.
Oh, hold on now, nigga. Hold on. Children. All right. Ephesians 6:12. This is the King James version. It says, For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? All right. Fuck. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. All right. It's just a simple reminder. These niggas had some high spiritual rate, and they're wicked as fuck. We're not as wicked as they are, okay? But there are some niggas that are wicked, but not as wicked as these niggas, okay? So always remember that. It's been written. It's been written. When you think about it, our stories have been written. It was written for you to do what you do. It has been written for you to do what you do. And you are literally, like Biggie Small says, it was all a dream. It was all a dream. This shit's a dream. Like, what we're actually living this shit? This shit is contrived prophecy. This shit is contrived prophecy that we were going to be once speaking truth in the darkest of times. This was prophecy for Anita flying high, and for whoever you are that's watching to be tuned in, and for you to speak your truth. It was prophecy. It has been written for you. How great is that? How amazing is that? You're on the winning side, because we already won, bitch. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to Anita's Joint. #extendAJoint, where every day is payday, baby. And until the next time, y'all keep doing you. It's Anita flying high, and I'm flying out of this third dimensional reality. And I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.